All right. 16th of June. Daily debrief back with you. A daily, weekly, Tuesday, Thursday style debrief. I'm Nato. I'm here with you. Look, there's Mark Pearce. Look, there's Blake Ashford. Who's eating? What are you eating there?
Chicken wing. A bit of chicken wing, yeah.
Bit of a chicken wing, bit of protein to go into your day. 16th of June, we've got lots coming up on the show for this. Well, even if you're listening to it, we've got a lot coming up for you today. But 16th of June, you know why today is a cool day, eh? 16th of June, guys.
Yes, I love 16th of June.
Switchback Day. That's right. On this day in 1884, the world's very first roller coaster was opened in Coney Island. It was called the Switchback. You paid 5 cents to go on the thing, and they made $600 a day out of it. Shows you how many people. So basically, there were these two towers, and they kind of went along like that. And you had to climb the tower, and then you had to get into the cart, and then they would push you, and you'd go up, sit one way, and then they had this device called a switchback where they'd push you back. It reached breakneck speeds of 9.7 kilometers per hour.
Wowza! And you can if you think about a 5 cent ride. Back in the day, like 5 cent used to get you things like a roller coaster ride.
A roller coaster ride.
That's awesome. I remember 5 cents, man. 5 cents used to be up to even 1 cent and 2 cent coins when we were growing up. And you used to be able to go out of the YMCA, the gym that they play, the Rising Suns used to play. You used to be able to go to the dairy across the road, and the netball courts were opposite that. And you used to be able to get the little lollies, and you get like 3 for 1 cent. And then it all went messed up when they decided, no 1s and 2s. A 5 cent coin would just get you 3. I was like, how did that work, man? You can't shake away that money and then lessen the amount of lollies. 5 cents, that would have got you 20 back then.
It was amazing. You know those family stories, that they keep on forever. I remember when you were little and that sort of thing. My granddad Bob, awesome granddad Bob. I thought he had a balloon up his shirt, but it was just his gut. He gave me $5 once for my birthday, and I could spend it on anything. $5. This is in like the late 70s. Here we're talking. So we went to the dairy, and I wanted bubble gums, and they were the ones where you could get 2 for 1 cent.
Oh, you did.
And so I came home with this massive bag, and it looked so cool to me because in all those cartoons when when a kid would do something and they'd give him a reward, he'd go, "I've got a bag of sweets." It was just like one of those. It was bigger than my head. It was a great moment.
Can you teach me something?
Yes.
When did 1 and 2 cents go out? Because you're real old at the moment.
Oh, geez.
87?
When did they go?
Okay, I was born 88. So
yeah, I reckon about 87.
Yeah, you haven't. Oh my God, you haven't known a world with 1 and 2 cent pieces.
No,
that's terrible.
5 cents.
I'm probably wrong, so if someone wants to Google it and chuck it on our comments, Will Miller has already said runts 1 cent. I don't know what that means, but if I get that wrong, please.
Oh no, the runts were the things you could eat.
Oh right, yes, of course, yep. There was also these little wee fruit lollies you could get, like the little bananas that they all tasted the same no matter what it looked like. But I've just got to get through my apologies list for tonight. Who couldn't make it? Okay. LeBron James. Well, he hasn't actually seen my message on Instagram, but I did tell him we were going to be live tonight, so I'm just going to apologise on his behalf.
He's probably tuning in. Hello, LeBron.
Hey, LeBron. Blake, you're present now, but you have to head away when?
About 5 to 7, 5 to 9 your time.
Right, and what's that for?
Oh, it's just confidential reporting, investigating business.
Ooh.
Off Warriors TV.
Yeah, and just being a private investigator, reporter.
Fuck, you make that sound. I bet you it's another one of those terribly lame meetings where everyone says, now you have to leave your shoes here now, not there. It'll be that, eh?
You have to juggle them.
You have to juggle them. Disappointing to hear, and one more. Bryn Gatlin, he's in timeout with no internet. He's not allowed to be watching tonight. So how good was that? Rugby was back. It came back with a bang, and a special treat for us from that game. No, we're not talking to Bryn Gatlin. No, we're not talking to his old man, Brian Gatlin. Or his other,
Warren.
Warren Gatlin. Brian or Warren.
Yeah.
They sound the same.
I hope he doesn't have an Uncle Brian, because that could make for a really weird Christmas a few years ago. You know what I mean?
Yes. No. So Warren Gatlin's not joining us. Neither is Brian Gatlin or Bryn Gatlin. We're not going to talk to Aaron Smith. We're not going to talk to any of the Highlanders or the Chiefs. We're going to talk to the man who we believe we've got on good authority to be the first streaker post-COVID-19 lockdown in the world.
All right.
Remember, no one else has been allowed into the stadiums to streak. So and look, we cannot be trusted. We could have gone to any of those other names, but no, we will be heading to Kenny Flintoff out of his flat in Otago. I have no idea what his internet's like. I've looked at his Instagram. You should go and check it out as well. He's a proper lad. He looks like the type of guy that goes, you know what? fuck it, I'm going to streak. And so he streaks. So I'm looking forward to that. And also tonight we've got Pita Alatini, who easily, Nate, one of our favourites, isn't he? A dude who played in 4 of the 5 New Zealand Super Rugby franchises, and will be able to give us a great insight into the weekend's action, what he saw, what he noticed, any trends like that, but also the fact that, of course, the main talking point in Super Rugby, especially the Blues Hurricanes game, was that relationship, that testy relationship, and it was absolutely
funny.
Personified when Dane Cole's got that ball wide out on the wing, and Bodie Barrett just lowered the shoulder and went, shit. Damn it.
How good was it?
And then
I don't love that.
Yeah, they were pushing and tripping each other through the game. And one thing I really wanted to mention before we moved on is how good has Super Rugby social media been? Like, yes,
they've changed, man. They're so much
heaps.
better.
Someone's in there who's actually goes, man, that's quite funny. That's quite interesting. I'll post that video. And they've actually gone ahead and done it. So good on them. And I'm looking forward to hearing from both Pita and, of course, our streaker, Kenny, this evening. Sorry.
That's awesome. I got to be at Eden Park on Sunday.
How was it?
And it was. Do you know what it felt like? It felt like I was trying to. People going. It felt like a test match, and I thought, yeah, but not quite. It felt as if the Rugby World Cup, when that was back in Auckland in 2011. It felt like a game that you were going to that was your first World Cup game, and it was between like Argentina and France.
Really?
If you know what I mean, like it, because everyone was in this really good mood, and I think it wasn't like there was like we're going to smash the Hurricanes. People were just like, we're at a thing. There's lots of other people at a thing. How good's this? And everyone was smiling, and like waiting in line wasn't a pain in the ass. It was a novelty. Like people were like, oh, what a fucking line. It's so good. You know, and we went up onto just have a look at New North Road there in Kingsland. All those pubs were packed. Pete, if you remember when we went to that Lions game there, and we went into those, it was just like that. Like it was. I know that when Nick was on last week with us from Eden Park, he was talking about the money that it's worth. I was looking at all of them, thinking like, all of these places have people spilled out onto the footpath. Everyone's eating and drinking and doing something, but just meeting up with mates and stuff. So it had a really cool feel to it. And before the game, both the teams came out and they stood there with a banner, and it was like a thank you to the essential workers. And the weird bit was it just felt like it was going to erupt into God Defend New Zealand, but it didn't. And I kind of feel like they missed the trick with it, but it was
patriotic.
It was cool.
You know, maybe a little bit of gas, probably wasted a little money with the big flyover with the big jet. Like just a top dressing plane is very Kiwi, you know. Top dressing plane that just flies over the top and lets something out, maybe some confetti. I just want to just quickly run through some of these messages because I need to talk to you, Aish, about a certain score that you picked an absolute stormer in, a great winner from last week that we never really got to revisit, and just how good the Warriors were and how I sent you that message as you were the actual game, and I was like, and I spent a swear word, and I also put a player's name behind it, and how stupid I looked afterwards. But Gareth Deneen says, hey lads, got the big thumbs up. That's 10-14, rugby 10-14 boys. Craig Rogers says, did anyone else feel like watching the Canes and Blues game was like being at an NFL or USA college football game? Air Force plane flying overhead, band music playing throughout. Absolutely loved it. Top man, Craig.
Awesome. That band's really cool. The ones walking around with the big sousaphone and the big think drum.
Man, this sounds so good. I was so severely hungover, and it wasn't until I missed it all. And my roommate, David Solomona, obviously massive Blues fan, was cheering at top of his voice. And now I've missed it. I'm going to have to go back and watch it all.
You should watch it. It's one of those games you can definitely rewatch. What else we got here? We got Rowena D saying production stopped on 31st of March 1989. This must be the 1 cent, 2 cent coins. Rowena, thank you for doing the heavy lifting. 1989, and then they were not accepted April the 30th, 1990. So this is the 1 cent, 2 cent coins that Nate and I we were old enough to be able to feel. But Blake, we're dusty and old. Hurry up and get Kenny on, says Harry.
What was that date? That date then is so when the ones and two when you couldn't use them anymore. That's when you started making them into like K Road, Karanga Happy Road earrings or nose piercings, eh?
Yeah,
or you melt them together to make like a light shade. It's quite good.
Kenny's on. Kenny Flintoff is on with us at the moment. Well, he's not on, but he's on the messenger saying, "Hey everyone, I'm on at 9." Yeah, so just relax because there's people who are getting upset. They want to see Kenny already.
I miss him.
And Vi says, "I'm here for Pita Alatini, who owes me money." This is great timing because Pita has just run through, and he's in the green room. There he is. He's got his phone sideways, so we'll get him to turn.
There we go. There it is.
There he is.
Yes.
There he is. It's just connecting the audio. We're all good. We're all good. He can't hear us right now. He can just see us. There we go. There we go. Peter, how are you, my man?
Hey, how we going?
Good,
man.
Brother.
Look at us playing musical with your camera. Like, look, we're all feeling a little.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Just finished the old club footy.
How was that?
Training?
What's going on? Tell us about the club footy training. What are you running the boys through?
No, not me. I'm just watching the coaches. So my role this year is just really doing the rugby director role. So just helping our coaches, watching them and then just giving them feedback as such.
How's the turnout for training this time of the year? You know, people have been locked up inside eating a lot. What's the turnout like? We've
been really lucky, mate, that we've managed to get most of ours back. We've got a lot of boys in between the teams. The only thing is there's injuries already.
Oh, really?
Kind of, for especially the young boys, the under 21s, the props are all out. But I think they're just kind of it's a bit cold.
Hey, those injuries.
Not the same, mate.
Those injuries.
My calf.
Just all my little island boys too, mate. I said, come on, boys. It's like harden up, man.
No.
But other than that, no, they're just all excited, mate. They've been waiting for it. They had it in pre-season last week, and they're ready to get into it this week.
That's sweet. Hey, you, mate. First, obviously, Super Rugby Aotearoa gets underway last weekend. You watched both games, mate. How'd you feel? It was crazy, wasn't it? It was like it was back.
How good, mate.
I know.
How good. Especially my mighty Landers. Yo.
What a crazy end to a game of rugby in New Zealand. Two drop goals and like what is going on? But it was cool.
I really threw the old pillow away when Damien got his kick. I was like, what? All that game, leading away, and then old Brenner Gats. What a great target man he is.
Hey, do you think we're in for this the whole time? Do you reckon it's going to be like this the whole time?
I think at the moment, I think for this year especially, yes. And then I was kind of talking because I was at the Eden Park game. It's how we try and still capture that, how everyone's coming. Every kind of, I suppose, franchise will try and capture what the people are coming for. Obviously, part of it is because of COVID, but we've got to kind of be more attentive to what they love was the 3:30 game. The afternoon game, they can bring their family, they have the kids for free. So I think it's kind of being smart around that area to continue what started. And obviously the team's kind of winning, the home team's winning, just builds more atmosphere for the next one.
Yeah. I mean, people left buzzing, eh? Like I thought the atmosphere was pretty cool. Like I was on gate A as they were coming out, and people were happily getting there.
That's the happiest I've ever seen Aucklanders, brother.
Yeah. And they showed up early. I mean, like that can't continue, right? The whole better be here an hour and a half early. What is up?
I know, mate. Cool. Like 1:30, I think, because I did a bit of work at the Barbarian Club. But 1:30, I got to Eden Park, and those trains, people were coming in. And it was honestly, it was like a test atmosphere.
Yeah.
And that's how good it was. But like I said, and then on top of that, the win. So they were super stoked. Auckland people walking around everywhere.
Look at them all smiling, eh? Everyone walking around smiling.
Yeah, they were.
Hey, that's so not us. What's going on? Anyway, exactly. That was lightning in a bottle, right? I was thinking about it as I was driving into town today. I was like, man, everything was perfect. The idea, and you've touched on it there. Sunday afternoon football, kids for free. It felt like an occasion because it was the first time out after COVID that everyone was sort of in a big bunch.
That's right.
The ability to be able to mimic that lightning in a bottle, though, for Super Rugby, because it's so important. Like, I was drawn to the TV to watch it because I knew how many people were going to be there. How do we maintain that? Is it less is more? That's what we've learned out of all of this, or where do we head with it?
I think so. I think a lot of it, like I said, a lot of it's to do with people. Like we've got to really welcome people into the place, I suppose. And if there's one thing I do know from COVID is that everyone's a bit more appreciative of what was taken away.
Yeah.
So then how do we build on that and make sure that people still feel that that they're getting treated that way or getting felt special, I suppose, and that's probably where I think in the past we've probably just missed the beat a bit. That and you can see the difference, dare I say it, with a crowd at a game, and those boys enjoying it compared to to what I mean. Don't get me wrong, the league's still going well, but just the difference, with everyone being at the stadium.
What does
you go, Blake.
I was going to say, what does game day look like for you? Like now that it's all relaxed, you sit back, have a couple beers.
Well, no, Blake, I'm still no, mate. Like this year because I haven't taken aboard any coaching roles, especially with the club and that. So my first role is really just looking after these guys here, like I said, the coaches. But in terms of going to the games, I actually don't. I haven't in the past gone, but because I'm part of the Barbarian Club at Eden Park, I found I needed to do some stuff. You get membership, and it's a beautiful club, and I haven't really done too much besides a couple of tournaments. So I like going back and reconnecting with welcoming people into the place. I act as a custodian, seeing them all loving being back and being in the room, and then just really talk to the generations before. Then my generations, and then obviously the young ones when they come in. So that's my enjoyment nowadays. And again, I'm probably one as well through COVID that's got to really appreciate our game and really kind of take a back step and really starting to enjoy it again, which has been pretty cool.
Mate, with the obviously I would love to hear what your thoughts were on all 4 teams that played in the weekend. But first of all, your ability to be able to play for different franchises, you would have left mates at different franchises and then had to play them again.
Yeah.
And it was a real point of I guess discussion, and there was a lot of videos that came out after the game between Beaudy and Colsey, like the two of them going at each other.
Trapped him in the corner.
What's it like?
He didn't get enough credit for that. It's Scrafton that grabs Beaudy and holds him.
Hold him in and rubbed his head. Mate, tell me about playing against teammates that you had been training with the year before, and what it's like going up against your mates in a game of rugby.
Oh, that's tough. I think the first 2 teams, I mean, the Crusaders and the Chiefs that I got called into, they were kind of, I got called in as replacement, but you still kind of, it was still quite funny to really play those games. But the biggest, I suppose, was when I left Targo because I'd been there for so long with the Highlanders.
Yeah.
And that felt weird. And then I could feel how Beaudy was because I think in one of our games, when I played for the Games, I thought I was going to score a try, and then Jeff tackled me out. And then he started giving me lip straight after. Like, hey, easy. But then you forget, you're on the other side now. So those ties are broken while you're on the field. But, mate, and there was no love lost there, as you could see from Colsey on. And I've heard this, because I had Chrono, Dan Cron with us in Tonga. And he was just as livid as what Colsey was when they found out that Bowden was leaving. Hey? So we were kind of egging him, going, "Oh, mate, look, he looks better in blue anyway." And he gave us the stare, and we thought, "No, that joke's not going to last on this tour," so we took that away. But you see, Colsey there's still a lot of ill feelings there, and that's left on the field, I'd say. But it is tough. But I suppose Beaudy had the last laugh after that one. I mean, the only thing he's not going to look forward to is heading down to the Canes when they play that game.
Yeah, they'll get him back.
What did you think? What did you think of the Canes, though, man? What did you make of that team? I mean, it looked, in my opinion, it looked a little probably underwhelming in the forward pack, but I thought the backs went all right. And I almost found it a bit weird when TJ ended up at 10 there for a bit.
Hey, I think I just think back when they had that slow start at the beginning as well, and people kind of started, and they had that little game change, and all of a sudden they came back to what the Canes are all about. So I won't take that's the beauty about this Super Aotearoa, is that these games are that tough that whichever team probably is not at their best, they'll get taken by one of these teams. And I think with the Highlanders especially, they'll get their little tails up after getting that win against the Chiefs. And it's probably, because if we think, and they were talking about it, Smithy and Aaron Smith and all of them were talking about it at the post, how important that win was for them and how much they really took the time off to really, reflect on what they'd done before, and they knew they were better than what they were. So I'm banking that all those 4 teams, mate, on their day, pretty sharp. Because, I looked at that Canes back line. Chase on his day is just as good as anyone at the back. Those wingers, the midfielder, Ussel, and that. So, mate, I just think it's just going to be awesome competition going forth. Everyone's got to be on top of the game, otherwise they're going to get knocked out.
Yeah, I just want to give a personal round of applause to Caleb Clark, friend of the show, man. He was amazing.
He was good.
He looks so big now.
He's a beast, bro.
He is.
He was moving
mate,
quick.
I remember seeing him just as he left school, and I thought then I was going, really? But then, you look at his dad and how built he was, and you go, well, you can see something's going to happen here. He ain't going to get any smaller, that's for sure,
Yeah.
No,
he's a big lad and fast.
Exciting, though.
But good hands and all that as well, and good sense to do the right thing.
Balance.
And,
I like his balance. Good core balance. He can move, Just does good angles.
So strong. And I suppose, I like him, Rico to me as centre. I think he's growing more and more in confidence. I think the only thing I probably had kind of doubts around was his defence. But I think that's coming along. I think that the combination with TJ, they'll build on that and hopefully get stronger as each game goes.
Could you see Rico playing there for the All Blacks?
Yeah, I think they could, just because I think with his explosive pace and his skills, because he has definitely the skills, just getting used to being able to, I think the biggest thing for him to get through will be he's a link man. I mean, he's the finisher. Yeah. He'll be, he can make breaks and stuff, but then at the end of the day, he's got to make sure he shores up the middle to create space for his outside. So,
advice from one of the great link men. Great, I like that. Hey,
I'm just
thinking, I had to be a leg man because I didn't want to run straight. Those dancing feet had to go point getting boys.
Just
thinking,
I was
trying to hit those spaces, mate.
Where are you going to get a huge supply of wingers, though, that can keep up with that centre? If he makes the break and then does the draw and pass, it's like, no.
Yeah. We found Caleb. Caleb's good to go.
Trying to find him, eh? Yeah.
You're right, that's a fair point, mate.
Yeah. So for that to work, does he need almost like a Ngani Lamapi inside him to get him through so he can come off the short ball?
Yeah.
So that he's fast, Because you want him quick.
And I suppose that's where you come through in terms of a midfield, the chemistry that you build in that, and then the balance between the two as such. If you've got such a hard runner as Lamape, and then you've got someone like Rico who could probably run off. That's pretty awesome to have. I feel even at the same time what TJ does bring to the Blues as this distribution game. So he is actually quite a good passer, and then we saw on the weekend as well. He's starting to really develop his little kicks through. I mean, he set up that one for Dalton. So having that well balanced inside, if you've got someone like Reeks, and I think Rico is agile enough to be able to develop into a good linker as well as, and I saw it as I suppose as a young fellow because he played centre at Auckland Grammar, and I saw him playing in the Central 16s where he played centre, and he has got definitely a good passing game and all that. So just obviously just playing in the wing. Last few years, it'll just take time to really adapt back into that midfield.
I don't want to harp on too much about the game, but O'Turdy Black sort of had a lot of, like DC's here, Beaudy Barrett's here, and he just going, mate, he was probably one of the best.
Yes,
just about his business.
I think that's the beauty of it, isn't it? Like when I suppose for Teddy, when you've got that much class around, I suppose in your head, it's like maybe you either, rise to the occasion, or you got to be riding the pine for the rest of the time, which is exactly what he took off from the Hurricanes for. But how bad? How's that though? You leave the Canes scene of Beaudy to come in and take the Blues off, and they both, get not only Beaudy but you get DC, and I'll be like, what?
Yeah.
But like you said, like on Sunday, he totally showed that he's got the class to mix it up with those two as well. But he must be just imagine all that. The experience from DC just kind of oozing out and just not giving him the finer details of game management, which is DC is one of the best in the world. Or still is. I reckon he still runs a great game, I suppose. But it'd be nice to see him in blue. In terms of the game, mate.
Yeah.
Hey, Pita, just before we let you go, and thank you so much. This has been awesome. We have a young fella named Kenny Flintoff on next. He took up the challenge of being probably the first streaker in world sport post COVID-19. He did it in the Glass Coffin down in Dunedin. You spent some time down there.
Just before the drop goal.
Just before the drop goal, he comes streaking down, It's a great photo on the stuff photo that they put up on stuff. He's actually holding package mid sprint, and I think he might be pulling the things or doing something where he's mid sprint.
To the security guy.
Amazing shot. Slippery ground down there at that time of night, though, wouldn't it be? Like that's a good effort to get all the way down the other end of the field.
Mate, there's only probably one guy who can blame for all that nudity down there is Mark Ellis.
Yeah, true.
Ellis,
Macca Ellis, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy in nude rugby.
Yeah.
He loves that stuff.
Hey, I've just got something I wanted to put to you too, because I think we need to start this, guys, all of us here. So Peter, you have Super Rugby jerseys in your drawer of every team except the Blues, right?
Correct.
Okay. So on the round that is on July 4th and 5th, doesn't involve the Blues. I think we get New Zealand Rugby to call it the Pita Alatini rounds. What do you say?
Yes.
Yeah.
I like it.
The blue buy round. I love it.
Oh, mate. I keep
How about
getting heaps of crap by everybody about that.
No,
You
it's
play four
great.
teams. I said, mate, it's opportunity. You know, you take this opportunity to give it to you.
New jersey every
They
time.
just call me a rugby slut. That's not what it's about, guys. Stay positive.
Top man. Hey, Peter, thank you so much for your time,
you.
brother. Stay safe. All the best with the club season. We'll be in touch anyway. We'd love to have you back on.
Oh, thanks, boys. Always a pleasure.
Top man, brother.
Good night.
Catch ya.
Cheers, boys.
Thanks, bro.
I mean, seriously, that idea's got legs, eh? The
That's a
Alatini
great
round.
idea,
Come
mate.
on. Come on.
That is a great idea. Always enjoy
That is a great idea, no doubt. I've got a cruise, fellas.
All right, yeah,
It's
yes.
been a pleasure.
Sure,
Sorry.
man.
We don't want to
Yeah.
associate with a
Sweet.
streaker. I get that.
Can
You're
you,
too much of an
I
upstanding
just want to
gentleman.
know if he had to beat it up a bit before he went on. Just give a bit of confidence.
Oh,
If
we'll
he did
find
get
out.
filmed,
Do you
Beat it up
do you
a
try
bit.
and breathe? Do you try and
Yeah.
breathe warm air on and?
Yeah, or like tap it a bit, wake it up. So like, at least you got camera shot. There's ladies there. There's a young man. Hey, look.
Give it a quick slap around.
Working.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Little.
Yep.
that one.
And also, we'll ask him where the best places he's partied.
Yes.
Slalom. We'll do that.
Because we need a streaker at our 2025 Vegas.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Top man. All right. Enjoy your meeting. Your mundane meeting.
A Vegas Boulevard nudie run.
Oh, how good.
That would be amazing. I got to say, Ped,
Yes.
it's a shame Blake couldn't hang around a bit more. So I got back from the rugby and I was all like amped. I was like, oh, that was just so great. It was such a nice feeling. And I tuned in to watch the NRL, and I'm sorry, but it felt like watching Milli Vanilli. I was like, no, the crowd sounds dumb now. I can't listen to
Oh,
the
right.
crowd.
Yeah. The pre-recorded
So I was
crowd.
like, okay, I've got. So what I did was, because I still wanted to watch the game, I just listened to a podcast instead as I did it, But I'm like, meh. Unfortunately, now that I've had a real crowd, now I've gone all crowd snob. No.
I demand
I
proper crowd.
I
Oh,
would
there he
love
is
to
with
do
a background as well.
Yes.
How are we?
Bloody good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm back at the scene of the crime, as you can see.
Absolutely. A little more clothed than last time, but
Yeah. Yeah, this time thought I'd go with some clothes on.
nice, man. Hey, can I just say, first of all, for people who aren't your friends that are watching, because I can see there's a large crowd there that's cheering you on online at the moment. I just want to introduce you, Kenny. Now, you, I would like to think, are the first post-COVID-19 streaker. I don't know if anyone can challenge you on that.
In the world.
In the
I'm pretty
world.
sure.
World sport.
Yeah.
Happy
it's
with
been a
that?
crazy experience, to say the least.
You happy with that? I mean, of all the
Yeah,
things you
pretty
thought
big
you could achieve in your life, that's not bad.
Yeah.
So tell us
I think
about it.
always got to go bigger.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
What's
Tell
your
us
streaking?
Right
Yeah,
from
what's
the
your
start.
streaking background? When were you first streaking, or is this where you debuted?
Oh, well, ever since a young kid, I've always been streaking, here and there, just around
Yes.
the place. But yeah, this is probably my big break. First time to crack the big scenes. So yeah, it's a good opportunity to get out there on the field with all the boys.
Yeah, did you now, was it a bet made? Was it anything like that? Was it just like, fuck it, I'm running. This is it, let's go.
Yeah, well,
Just
it kind of all started day at my flat up in North East Valley, the dog box.
The
We
dog
had
box,
a red
shout out.
card.
good. Shout out to the dog box.
Yeah, we had a red card, which is essentially each person in the flat gets to have a day where they choose what everyone drinks, what the rules are, and whatnot. So we had one of those where we dressed up in our old footy kits, jumped in the backyard, had a few run it straights, and you know what? And then, all led up to the big game. It's a bit of a in the heat of the moment kind of thing. Someone called me out, told me, you wouldn't streak, and that's it. That's pretty much over for me.
That was it.
That's it.
the lights went up and you went for it. So tell us about that moment.
Heard the music and danced.
I've got someone who was at the game and was pretty close to where you are as filming, as they just happened to be trying to film, I think, the drop goal that's coming up, and they just happened to capture you stumble over at the first moment and then just go for it. Tell us about that moment. As you got that leg over, you touched grass, foot on grass. What were you thinking? Were you analysing that shit? Were you like, geez, it's a bit soggy underfoot? Like, how am I going to do this? Or were you just like, fuck it, let's roll?
Oh, yeah, it was a bit wet on the ground. It was a bit hard on the pitch, but a few of the red badges run over. I had to give them the fat left plant and put them in my dust, you know.
Did you eye them up first? Did you go, fuck, this one on the right's a bit bigger than the left, or what? How'd it go?
I'm going for the fat guy. You stepped the fat guy.
I went for the gap first, then one came over, so I just gave him the inside outside and he was done.
That's beautiful.
And what was the goal? Was it just to try and get to the end? Were you going to try and, because I saw you, there was a bit of a dismount that didn't go well.
Yeah, there was an opening right in the corner which I was aiming for, but I did trip right at the end and got jumped on by about 3 red badges, so it wasn't my best effort. But
did you injure anything? Anything?
Nah.
No grazes.
Came out clean, just a bit cold in the cells for the night.
Ooh. A couple of questions from Blake too, just quickly before I throw them. Did you beat it up a little? Did you give yourself a little quick rub before you headed out there, just so you looked more impressive as you were sprinting full stride?
Or just breathe warm air on it?
Oh, no, not really. Just had a couple of more beers from the stands, and then went out there and did my thing.
Nice.
And so you take your gears off, you give them to your mate. Go here, hold these.
Yeah.
And then you go. That first bit where your foot touches the ground and then you hear the roar of the crowd, I imagine that's got to be one of the greatest adrenaline rushes in human life. Was it like that?
Yeah, it's the best feeling, eh?
Are you the loosest out of all your mates, or are there a couple other loose kids?
Oh no, I'd say it's pretty equal with most of us.
Really?
We all do some pretty twisted things, I must say.
So that was I was hoping that's probably the most twisted of the night, or was someone else do something way more outrageous?
Yeah, at least of the night.
Yeah,
of the night. Yeah.
Did the nerves get up? Did you get nervous? Did you sit there and go, "Shit, it's me! Damn it, he's called me. I'm going to do this," or did you just go, "Fuck it, I'm in"?
Yeah. Well, I was all over it at the about half time when the calls came out, and then I ended up having a sit down for like last 15 minutes, had to think about it, and then
what were you thinking? Who was the angel on your shoulder saying, "Don't do it"? Ken. Don't do it. Go. Was it your mum? Was there a vision of of someone in your family that's like, You can't.
No, I wasn't even thinking about that at the time. Because I had about like all my friends around on all my other shoulders saying do it. So,
so the guy that called you out, I'm assuming it's a male. I don't want to be in these 2020 times. So the human that called you out. That now means that you've got basically they owe you, so you can call them out at any time to go large as well, right? So this is great. You could save this right up till the moment when he's getting married. That could be kind of fun, because he does still owe you and would have to go through with it, would he not?
Yeah, I'll think of something good for him. He'll get it.
I love it.
Oh, it's so good. So what was who was the person who came and got you out of jail? Out of the cells the next morning?
That was one of my flatmates, Matt Gray.
Is Matt watching now? Is there anything you'd like? There we go.
They're all in the room next door watching on TV.
Okay,
nice,
good.
Nice. What was the first conversation like? What did Matt say as you saw him for the first time? He's like, you.
Yeah, it was pretty much that. Just lots of laughter, really.
How much is it going to cost you?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I have a court case on Thursday morning, so I'll find out then.
Did you flush this for Lily? Left the shit in there.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'll get onto it later.
Hey, hang on. So you get taken out of the stadium. So you've run nude. Right, so you haven't got your clothes, and then somehow you get to a police car, to a police station, in a cell. At what stage do you get clothes, and what are they like? Are they paper undies, or what is it?
Oh, I can actually show you. I'll go grab it.
Oh, yes.
If I can find it, that is.
This is always one of the best features of the show.
Oh, yeah. I'll have to get one of my flatmates to hold it up for me.
Okay, right.
Could someone come hold it up?
Yeah.
Just these overalls.
So these are them. These are your police streaker over. Oh, the blue overalls.
Yeah. So they gave me these nice blue overalls to wear for the night.
Wow.
Cold, but they did.
So that's all you wore all night to sleep?
Yeah.
Shit.
It was better than the towel they gave me at the stadium, but it wasn't the best thing.
And Dunner's weather, man.
Dunner's to be cold.
That is nuts. What are they? Do you know how much it's going to cost you? Is there any way we can start a fund a little page that Aidan has put
where's your GoFundMe?
Yeah, we haven't made one yet. Me and the boys are thinking of making one, but the fund shouldn't exceed more than $1,000. So I think most of my friends will be able to chip in for it and whatnot.
Top man. What about your what about the whānau? How are they? Good on your son. That's why you're in Otago.
Do it at Christmas. I'm doing my thing.
Yeah, I got a bit of an earful at first, but they came round in the morning.
Oh man.
And yeah, they're fine about it. So
that's awesome.
All happy now.
That's awesome. Hey, Kim, Matt, thank you so much for your time, brother. That's that's a pretty of all the things you do in your life, you'll always be able to look back at this moment and go,
okay, that happened.
Yeah, always.
Right there. That was mine, man. But we appreciate your time and all the very best with the court case. I hope it all goes well. Hopefully they see the fun side in this. I know it's pretty rarely they don't, but we wish you all the best, man.
Cheers.
Thank you, brother.
Cheers, thank you.
Have a good one.
Beauty, you too. That was great. See, I love Gen Z. I told you, we're going to be fine. Generation Z's fine. They're good. They're so good for us. My flatmate Steve used to streak games, and his thing was he streaked multiple ones. He said once you've done one, they're like tattoos. You can't say one, you go for it. But he said that that his tip was that he also streaked the Remuera shops, by the way, just for fun one night. But his one was that you wear your undies on your head. And he said, because when you get tackled to the ground by security or police, they're mainly concerned with you covering up your genitals. That's their main thing. And he said, so if you've got, come on, they go, right, get them on. And then if anything, they will help you put them on, and then they can lead you off like that. But he said that just makes all the difference. But that blue suit, that's going to get used at Halloween. It's going to get used at every costume party they have in that flat or any other flat. Out comes the blue.
Mate, what a good kid too, Ken. Thank you for him jumping on too. Like, I mean, I know we're not allowed to celebrate the streaking because we're all here for the sports, but it felt like this weekend was more than just sport. It felt like it was we're back into the realms of things, and things are starting to click better. And when I saw the streak, I was like, yes, great photo, good kid, and clearly the lad's having a lot of fun down in Dunedin. Right, Nader, well, that's pretty much us.
That's us, eh? Yeah. Look, if they do want to keep that momentum going, like Peter was saying, because I don't think it sells out next game. I think it drops away a little bit because there was a bit about the COVID fun of it. But a lot of families in that, when they left, were all having a good time. You know what I mean? So you could tell that they'd had a good time. The kids didn't look grisly and shit. So the parents were like, yay. You know what I mean? You know how that makes all the difference in the world? Like dragging your kid out the gate is like, oh, it's terrible. Apart from, hey, no, Josh has got 2 flags. Look at him go. It's always a Josh at the rugby that's doing that. But I kind of thought too, with things like the streaker, those are all the bits that every old person that runs the sport now, those are their great stories they remember. So why shouldn't people now have those same stories, you know? And I think the people that were there, they got the hilarity of the streaker. I think TV missed it, right? But everyone else managed to cover it. So you're going, well, there you go. You haven't upset the TV viewers, all the social media, everyone else was onto it. We got our streaker. It was great. Streak away, New Zealand. Streak away.
Streak away. Robbie says, Mark, does he inspire you to perhaps take this up sometime? I shan't be taking it up. And that's because you don't want to see that. I wouldn't be showing off the left foot step. I'd be like, falling over and pulling it straight away. Exciting news for any NBL fans. You will be getting on Tuesdays and Wednesday evenings, yours truly, emceeing the NBL games. Yep, out in Waitakere. So I'm cool. It's going to be fun to do that. I'm not allowed to wear the Huskies top though. I've got to be someone who's calling it right down the middle. I'm
really
excited for that to get underway next week. Excited obviously about the Warriors game. How about it?
I know. What was up with that?
What was that?
What was that all about?
Thank you to Pita Alatini. Thank you so much to Ken. Nato, thank you. Blake, we had for a couple of minutes, which was fun. Thank you all for watching. This will be a podcast which you can share amongst your friends, and it's quite popular in the UK for some reason.
I love the UK. We love the UK. Thanks, UK. We love you.
All right. Ka kite anō.
Ka kite.